Good morning and welcome to Friday Art Talks. It's been a few weeks probably that I've been on, but this is what it's like behind me in Florida today. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I was sitting out on my balcony, just thinking about how beautiful nature is. So today, I want to share the connection that I have always felt with art, spirituality, and nature. And I've been talking lately about keeping a nature journal. And so this morning, my tower garden was producing a small little green pepper, which I'm super excited about. And the connection with nature and spirituality is to observe the beauty and the little things that are happening. And so I thought we would sketch a pepper. This one's an orangey yellow. It looks a bit more yellow on the screen, but there's some beautiful colors in there. And the questions I jotted down: why do we turn to art? Why do we need to create? What happens when we are in nature? Are you drawn to the water or maybe the mountains? What is that connection, being a creative soul, a spiritual soul, a soul that loves to connect with nature? And often we find many artistic, creative people connecting with those three things. So I am going to be talking about those things. It's kind of like a healing trio. They kind of help us heal, at least for me and my journey. I've been a type 1 diabetic since my early 20s. And in my 39th year, mostly healthy. But there's always been a healing process for me, and art, spirit, and nature help me along that path. So hopefully I can help share that with you. Not too much deep wisdom today, but I have my little supply tools. I've got my just mechanical pencil, my markers with the thick and thin edges, my blue tool, my blue pencil, which helps me get going. And let's see, and always a portable sharpener along with it. Here's a sketchbook I've been doing daily sketches with. I did post a couple of them the other day and did a little feather. Son and daughter-in-law's welcome bag invitations. They just got married, so exciting. Just lots of stuff. So I think I posted this one. It was actually from a photograph, which is okay too. And then I found this dried specimen in a bouquet that was sent by my son for Mother's Day. There were irises I had picked up. So anything that's around, feel free. So I was inspired this morning by this little pepper and thought we could maybe draw a pepper. So I'm going to put this aside. Maybe when it gets a little bit bigger, we can come back to it. But in the process, the nature journal will make the connection of science as well. And to see how things connect, where does it grow? Where are the leaves? What's the texture? What's the habitat? So in this case, it's growing from a tower garden, but maybe you see something in nature and your curiosity takes over. So don't worry so much about the drawing, that will come. So when I look at the pepper, first I want to look at maybe an angle, what looks interesting to me. And the stem is broken up, but I do like the color change here. There's some green, there's some orange, and some warm yellows underneath if I was going to put this together. So I could, you know, just kind of take my blue pencil and just kind of get the shape. So it's kind of like, for me, a U shape and kind of elliptical on top. So first the shape, the gist of it. And then, let's see, we're kind of off the screen. So I'm looking at it. It's a little hard to see with the blue pencil. So I'm going to switch to a thin marker. I could even do a pencil first, just in case I want to change the form. So the blue pencil really helps you do that observation thing. So if I just slowly look at the bottom, it's a little pointier, kind of comes out a little wider, tucks around, and it goes back to that blind and modified contour drawing, which I've shared before. So there's a little bit more point. So what's nice about the blue pencil is it's easy. And then tucked under here is kind of the underneath side. So it kind of comes out. So that's why I always say start out with the marker, because it teaches you to observe. So I'm going to tilt it back a little bit because I do like this back side coming in. Kind of. When you keep changing view, that's not always good, but I know it's hard for you to see that. So now it's starting to shape up and look like it. So if I tilt it just a little bit more, it's going to kind of change the structure. But I had hoped to include where the stem comes out of. Maybe I could just add a little color. So when I tilt that, I don't see the bottom. So I'm going to keep it at this tilt. It's a little bit better. So be conscious if you keep moving it, your view is a little different. This kind of pops out a little bit. But for me, I'm connecting with nature and I feel its growth and its spirituality. So shut off my mic for a second because I was having a little bit of a coughing. So one of the things that I have is a spasmodic throat disorder, which affects my voice. And I'm learning some different tricks to make it better, because I'm sure you notice it. So I'm not emotional. It's just the way my throat is spasming. So I apologize if it affects the video. Okay, so I basically have as a loose sketch. Let's see, I think we need to put it in, get the same position and kind of notice that this is kind of grooved here. So kind of affects when I move it. This is almost like a heart shape. So try not to move it if you can, because look looks just by putting it down, it really does affect it. So since we're keeping with simplicity now, you can play with the thickness or thinness of the lines. So, you know, you can put in thicker lines for it to come forward and thinner lines for it to recede a little bit. So maybe this line here. So I'd love to hear about your feelings of being in nature and the connection as a creative person. You know, feel free to share on my Facebook page, Elaine M. Bergstrom, Artist Perspective. So if I'm using the blue pencil or pencil, I can go kind of right over this. So I've kind of changed the view again. So just gonna add that. Look how it just kind of comes together. Think of big shapes. And what do you notice? Like, it's a pretty smooth texture. I'm noticing more of the color changes. So if you wanted to take out your pencils and add color, but as a nature journaler, what I would probably mark down if I was out in the field is, this kind of came up a little bit too high, is I would say there are kind of these segment pieces. So here's 1, 2, 3 on this. So maybe I would write down 3 segments. Broken stem. Smooth surface. And this also helps us become more aware of what we're drawing by describing it. I often teach that in class, that one of the things that you can do is to write and describe adjectives of it. So this is really interesting. Green stem. It kind of is, you know, I don't want to say maybe octagon. I'm not real good with my geometry. Octagon leaf. And this would be interesting. I also noticed the color of this beautiful pepper. Try and get back to where I was. So colors. So maybe I only have time to draw it, but you know, if I was out in the field drawing a pine cone or a little nut or something, I could just indicate. So there is what I call warm yellows, yellow, orange, orange. And then I do see some greens in there. So it's fun to kind of note that. And if it was standing up on a surface, I might see some sort of shadow underneath, but I'm just kind of learning it. Another thing I could do is cut this and slice it and draw the different pieces of the pepper to really understand it. And if you've ever read the books by Frederick Frank, who wrote Zen in the Way of Seeing, I think Drawing in the Way of Seeing, he has a few books out. He's the one who taught us that we may eat peppers all the time or lettuce, but do we really know it and connect with it? And by taking our time and drawing it, it becomes a very important process. So here we've got some shadowing, adding a little bit thinner line. There's a lot of light coming from here. Seems to be a little bit darker around here. And so the best way to really practice drawing is to draw. And that's how you really get better, by observation and knowing. So I hope you enjoyed our little video, and watch for more talks about the connection of healing, the connection of creativity, spirituality, and nature. That always works for me, and I'd like to share my experiences with you. So if you've enjoyed the video, please like it, share it, follow me. I'm on YouTube as well. And until next art talk, have a great week and practice your drawing 5 minutes a day, just whatever is in front of you, and let me know how you're connecting and how you're doing. Thank you.